India and Russia signed series of agreements to bolster cooperation.
The U.S. cuts work permit validity for refugees to 18 months.
Nghệ An completes transition from fixed tax system to self-declaration after 30 days and nights.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go with the first headline of the show. On December 5th, the Russian president held talks with Indian Prime Minister during a state visit aimed at strengthening bilateral relations and expanding economic cooperation between the two countries.
At the talks, the Russian leader said both sides reviewed recent developments in the Ukraine conflict and discussed coordinated steps with several partners, including the United States, toward a potential diplomatic settlement. On economic cooperation, India and Russia reaffirmed their goal of boosting bilateral trade to 100 billion USD by 2030 in a balanced and sustainable manner, with a focus on expanding Indian exports, advancing industrial and high-tech projects, and promoting new investment. Russia reiterated its long-term energy partnership with India, with President Vladimir Putin pledging that Moscow would remain a stable, uninterrupted supplier to India's fast-growing economy. Following the meeting, the two leaders witnessed the exchange of several documents, including memoranda of understanding on important fields.
The Trump administration has announced it will shorten the validity period of work permits for refugees and asylum seekers in the United States.
The U.S. government will require certain refugees to renew their work permits every 18 months instead of every 5 years. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said the change will allow more frequent vetting, helping authorities identify individuals who may pose security risks and enabling potential deportation of migrants. The new rule applies to refugees, asylum seekers, and those granted asylum, as well as others eligible to work in the U.S. It affects migrants with pending applications and anyone filing on or after December 5th. As of June, roughly 434,000 asylum seekers and about 24,000 people granted asylum had pending work permit applications. More than 12,000 refugees also had applications awaiting processing.
This morning, Nghệ An Tax Department held a conference to review its 30-day campaign on transitioning to a new tax management model for household businesses.
After 30 straight days of work, Nghệ An has completed its transition from the fixed tax system to self-declaration on schedule and beyond expectations. All eligible households are now using e-invoices generated from cash registers. 99.99% of taxpayers have installed the e-tax mobile app, and all households with annual revenue of 1 billion VND or more have shifted to tax declaration or business registration. The remaining households have understood the policy and are ready to transition from January 1, 2026. The province has also recovered nearly 15 billion VND in overdue tax debts, a reduction of 23% compared with before October 31, 2025. These results allowed Nghệ An to finish early, reflecting strong political will across the system and broad support from the business community and household taxpayers.
Upcoming are some updated news.
A cyber campaign known as Hanoi Thief is being launched from abroad, directly targeting Vietnamese businesses through fake job application emails. Hackers are sending a file titled Le Xuan Son CV.zip, which contains a shortcut disguised as a CV, but actually embeds the Lotus Harvest malware. According to BKAV, this is a sophisticated virus capable of deep concealment, self-activation, long-term persistence, and bypassing multiple security layers. It steals sensitive data and creates a foothold for broader, multi-stage attacks or ransomware operations. Vietnamese businesses have already been identified among the victims of this campaign.
In its latest Gold Outlook 2026, the World Gold Council, WGC, says that after rising 60% since the start of the year, gold prices could climb another 15–30% in 2026. The forecast comes as the precious metal posts a remarkable performance, with a 60% surge and more than 50 record highs this year. Key drivers include U.S. import tariffs, heightened geopolitical tensions, and strong central bank purchases. In October, gold briefly hit an all-time high of 4,381 USD an ounce and is currently trading around 4,200 USD. Falling government bond yields, escalating global tensions, and investors' growing demand for safe haven assets are expected to create exceptionally favorable conditions for gold in 2026. Under these dynamics, the metal could mark one of the strongest annual gains in its history.
The National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting reported that at 1 p.m. on December 6th, a tropical depression was active over central Philippines with maximum winds of level 6 and gusts of level 8. It is moving westward at 5 to 10 km/h. At 1 p.m. on December 7th, the tropical depression was located over the Philippines mainland with maximum winds of level 6 and gusts of level 8. It was moving west-southwest at 10 to 15 km/h and is expected to enter the East Sea afterward. Forecasts indicate the system will enter the East Sea early on December 8th and may strengthen into storm number 16. Its projected track points toward the central and south-central coast, potentially bringing moderate to heavy rainfall from Hue to Con Hoa.
Faced with market pressure and years of bumper crops but falling prices, traditional sun-dried salt has been losing its value. From this struggle, salt farmers in Quỳnh Phú have found a new path, salt steaming, a labor-intensive method that is opening up hopes for a strong revival of the local salt industry. More in the story today.
Salt making, a long-standing livelihood along the coast of Nghệ An, is experiencing one of its most challenging periods.
In good years, the price drops. This year, it's been rainy and windy, so production is low. We've barely made any salt these past months.
The hardest part is the price. It's much lower than the market rate. I only work in the mornings and spend the afternoons out in the fields.
Amid the risk of the traditional craft fading away, members of the Thang Loi cooperative took the initiative to seek a new direction. Since 2021, they have studied salt steaming techniques. By early 2025, their first batches showed promising results. Raw salt is placed in true sun clay pots and steamed over firewood for 7 to 8 hours, repeated twice, and then cured once more to remove impurities. This meticulous process yields a fine, pure product, with 1 kg of raw salt producing only 0.5 kg of steamed salt. The product now sells for over 36,000 VND per kilogram, 15 to 20 times higher than sun-dried salt. Each month, the cooperative supplies around 20 tons to clean food stores, processing enterprises, spas, and supermarket chains.
We traveled to several provinces to learn. The salt is abundant and of high quality, but the cooking pots and technique required many trials. All traditional methods failed before we found the right approach.
From the steaming clay pots rising with smoke, a traditional craft is being elevated. Farmers' incomes have improved, ending the cycle of salt piling up while waiting for traders to bargain down prices. Businesses now come directly to place orders, and the market has become far more stable, allowing farmers to remain committed to their work.
During the steaming process, all impurities are removed. This helps bring the product closer to consumers.
These changes reflect the determination of Quỳnh Phú salt farmers to renew their traditional craft. On today's salt fields, the grains are not only white, but also brighter. Bright with the willpower and aspirations of those who have devoted their lives to the winds and sun of the Central Coast.
The last story descended our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now.